In this video segment, we're going to talk about using Google Forms. It is a free tool that comes with your Google account, and you can use it to poll or survey the community or your parents, but you can also set it up to be an online quiz, and I'll show you how to grade that automatically. It's a pretty nifty tool. When we're looking at Google, the Google account, you can tell that I'm logged in with my account by looking in the top right-hand corner of the screen. But I'm going to go over to Create. It's the red icon on the left-hand side of the screen. And when I click on Create, I'm going to choose to create a new form. When it opens up, it's going to ask me to title the form, and I'm going to title it Synonyms. And I'm going to get to choose kind of a header or a basic theme to go with it. And as I scroll down, I'm just going to choose the sample one here with the pennant banner and click on OK. It automatically starts my form. You can see that it has synonyms already labeled here. I can add and change that title at any time. But one thing I'm going to do is require KNISD login to view this form, so that if I send this link out to my students, they will actually have to log in with their Google account to be able to answer it. You might not want to do that if you're doing it with parents, because they might not all have a Google account. But for the kids, we're going to require the KNISD login, and we're going to automatically collect the respondent's KNISD username. That way you'll be able to see how your students are logged in. And you can choose to show a progress bar at the bottom of the form page as your students are completing the quiz. You'll be able to see how far along they are in the survey, or you don't have to check that at all. When we get ready to add the questions, one of the first things that I would recommend is have the kids type in their last name and then their first name with question 2. And that will allow it, when it pulls into a spreadsheet, that you can see who has submitted, but you can also alphabetize and edit a little bit that way. So we're going to say, please type in your last name. And we want the question type to be a text, so just plain text, no choices or multiple choice or anything. And we're going to require that they type in their last name, and then we're going to click on Done. The next question, we're going to add an item, and we're going to say, please type in your first name. And we're going to leave it at text, and whatever their answer is will be what they show up, and then we're going to require that one as well, and we'll click on Done. And when you require it, it won't let them go past and submit without answering. So that's one of the reasons you want to require it. We're going to add a new item. We're going to call this one will be actually the first question, and I'm going to say, what is a synonym for pretty? And we're going to choose a multiple choice question type, and it's going to let us type in our options. So we're going to say beautiful and sad and nice. We can look down and we could choose other, and if we add an other, it would let the kids add something of their own, or we can close that other out with the X and just leave the 3 choices that we've given them. Under advanced settings, we can say shuffle the option order, so that the question responses will come in a different order each time for each student. And there again, we're going to require the question to be answered. Click on Done. Let's do one more, and this time for the type of question, let's choose from a list. Choose from a list, and our question is going to be, what is a synonym for pretty? And our choices here might be attractive and fast, and we might put nice again. So we'll have 3 choices that'll come up in a list. We can choose, once again, to shuffle the option under advanced settings. We're going to require the question, and then we're going to click on Done. So we actually have 2 questions, 4 if you include the last name and the first name. We're going to choose down at the bottom what response the kids get back from us. So we're going to say, thank you for answering these quiz questions. If you were working with parents, you might say, thank you for completing our survey, but it's something that they'll get back that you want them to see when they finish. It says show the link to submit another response, and I would recommend if you're working with kids to take that off. They could take the device and give it to the next person, but whoever's logged into the Google account, it'll show that username. So I would probably take that off. It just depends on what you're doing. I'm going to also leave the check off of publish and show a public link to the form results. I don't really want the kids to see the test question results. I'm going to leave that off. And then this time I'm going to allow responders to edit responses after submitting. I'm going to take that off as well and not let them have a second chance at the quiz questions. You could do that if you want, but just for this demo, I'm going to say no. So when I look back through, I can go back in at any time and edit a question by clicking on the little pencil icon. I can delete a question if I'd like, not the whole quiz, just the question. I could also duplicate the question if I'd like and have that on there a second time. And so it gives you some options once you have it all set up like you'd like it. When we are looking at the top bar, we can change the theme for this form if we'd like. We can stop accepting responses at any time by clicking on this. We can review the responses and view the live form, but we're not going to do that just yet, but I wanted you to see those. So once we have it just like we want it, we're going to go ahead and send the form, and it's going to give me two options to share the form. One is to share this link, and I can highlight this link, and I can right-click and copy, or Control-C to copy, and I can share that link in my Google Classroom through an announcement or however you would like to send that out. But you can share it just by using that link. The kids would have to log in with their Google account and then would be able to answer. Another way, if I just want to send it to a few people, I can actually type in your email addresses or their Google accounts. So if I wanted to send that to Debbie, and I noticed Derek West was on here, if I want to choose Derek, I could choose his, and then I would just send that out, and it's going to let me customize the message. And I'm going to say, thanks for participating in this quiz. If you were doing parents, you could say survey or whatever, and we will go ahead and send that. Now, I have just completed that, and I want you to see what it looks like over in Google Drive. So when I go to Google Drive, I'm going to see that I have a synonyms form, and I have a synonyms responses. It will not start recording your responses until the first person has taken that quiz, and that first person needs to be you. So we're going to go up and add a new little tab. In that link that we copied, we're going to paste in, and I'm logged in as me. If I weren't logged in as me, it would ask me to log in, but the teacher is going to want to be the first one to submit the questions because that's going to be the key. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my last name, my first name, and what is a synonym for pretty? You're going to want to be very careful that you answer correctly. So I'm going to say beautiful. What is a synonym for pretty? I'm going to say attractive, and then I'm going to submit that. And once I submit, you notice it says, thank you for answering these quiz questions. I typed that in, and so that's what your kids will see. Now, just for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and do this again. And this time, I'm going to type in Justin Richardson's name. And the kids would actually log out and log back in. Justin's going to say beautiful and attractive, and he's going to submit that. He gets that. For the next person, I'm going to say Mark Hamill. And Mark is going to say that a synonym for pretty is nice, and a synonym for pretty is attractive, and he's going to submit that as well. And then let's do one more. And I'm going to do paste that in, and let's just let Yolanda. And Yolanda is going to say beautiful. Let's let her say sad, and let her say nice. And we'll submit that. Now, I've had 4 students submit. One is actually me, the key. And let's go ahead and close this out. And when we come back over to Google Drive, we're going to look down the page just a little bit, and you'll see that we have a synonyms form, that's the symbol for form, and a synonyms spreadsheet, which is with the responses. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the spreadsheet. And when you do, you're going to see that we have 4 people that have answered, and you'll actually even be able to see what their answers are. So you'll see the question and how they responded. You'll notice that the username is all mine because I didn't log out and log back in as Justin and log out and log back in as Mark. So you're going to see my name here. But one of the best things, it's really fun, is to go up to the add-ons on your toolbar. So you should see add-ons. You'll only see that in spreadsheets and not in the forms. So you have to be in spreadsheet to be able to see it, not forms. And when I click on add-ons, it's going to ask me to get an add-on. And you might have a little blue symbol in there, but go ahead and go search for an add-on. And the one we're going to search for is Flubaroo, Flubaroo. And we're going to click on enter, and there is an add-on called Flubaroo, and you're going to see it over free, and you go ahead and click on free, and you have to agree to the acceptable use policy. So you're going to go ahead and click on accept, and now you're going to see that it's working. It's doing some things. It says once you've collected the student submissions in the sheet, choose grade assignment. So we're going to go ahead and close that message out. Now when I go to add-ons, you'll notice there's Flubaroo, and we're going to grade the assessment. If you'll notice down at the bottom, we only have one tab for form responses, but when we go to add-ons in Flubaroo and grade the assessment, we'll now have a little grading pop up. In this, the last name, the username, the first name, we just want it to identify the student and not assign any points to it. But what is a synonym for pretty? We're going to do 5 points. What is a synonym for pretty? 5 points. So we're assigning the points, and then we're going to continue. It asks me which one I want to use for the key, and it's very important that you go ahead and choose yours. And then you have to have at least 2 student responses for it to even show up to be able to grade. So you can't see this automatically until you've got a few kids that have answered. But we're going to choose mine as the key, and then continue. And it loads and it says, great, let's view the grades. It also tells us that anything that is not 70% as a class will show up in orange. And I notice this is a little bit less than 70%, but it lets you look in this, and you can see that Justin has 100%, Marka 50%, and Yolanda didn't score any points, and you can see the average per question. It's pretty great. So you already have that done. We can come back and look at student submissions again and see what everyone, how they answered, and so that lets us know how to respond to the kids. So this is the grade sheet and the student submissions sheet down in the bottom of the spreadsheet. So once we have that, we can then record the grades and be able to form plans for our kids on what they might have missed. At any time, if you have kids go ahead and submit again, then you can see up at the top that we can go to add-ons, Flubaroo, and regrade the assignment. And it'll say, are you sure? Because you're going to lose the grades that you just did. But that's not a problem. It just puts the grades back in there. So it's awesome, an awesome tool. You might think about how you want to set these up, if you want to do them by course period in the day, or how you might want to do that. But it's a great tool. I can go back at any time to the forms menu and say, okay, I'm through accepting responses. And so I'm going to turn that off, and it now says this form has been turned off. Can view the responses at any time, view the live form. There's all kinds of great things. You can see that I have 4 responses right now, one of them being mine. So the main thing is to set up a form. The second thing is to be sure as the teacher and take answer the form yourself with the right answers, because it uses it as a key, and then just get ready and run with it. I'd love to hear how you're using it, so give me some feedback and start using Google Forms and Flubaroo for assessing kids. Thanks.